Figure it out!
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series and is intended to aid the Dreamcast and gaming community.
Okay, so you guys voted, and as you can tell by the title, you guys all picked the Dreamcast. Not really much of a surprise, considering most of my fans are Sega fans. So what we're going to do, there's some dirt and stuff on it. We're going to open it up, going to clean it out, clean out the innards, and try to get it working. I am a little concerned because he said it was a laser issue, so I may not be able to get this to work, but at the very least you guys can see how to clean one. Okay, so you want to get into your Sega Dreamcast. The first thing you're going to need to do is remove the modem on the bottom by just pushing into this part and pulling it out. And then you'll need a Phillips screwdriver. Sega just used standard Phillips screws, unlike Nintendo, who always used those stupid game bits. So it's really easy to get in all these Sega systems. But again, once you have the modem off, there's only 4 screw ports. There's one right there, there, and then one right behind the modem. So you just go ahead and remove all those. Okay, I've taken the 4 screws out, so now I'm just going to pop the lid right off. It comes up right like that. Real easy. And then you can see this is a later model because it has that foam stuff right there. Yeah, pretty cool. We'll clean that up and get scuffs off and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we can look on the inside here. Dreamcast had a very nice and compact design. Yeah, here's the power supply, here's the controller boards, this is the battery, the internal battery. Pretty cool because it's rechargeable. And here's the gd-rom assembly. Unfortunately, this is the biggest problem with Dreamcasts. It's actually kind of ironic because the Sega Saturn had incredibly well-built lasers to the point where it was absurd that they were actually that good. So when Sega designed the Dreamcast, they brought that down, and unfortunately, the laser assembly on the Dreamcast is the worst part of the Dreamcast. That's really too bad, but that's just how it was done. So what I'm going to do, because you can look at it, it's not really that dirty, but Dreamcasts, in my experience, really don't get all that dirty. There isn't really much that happens with them. So really all I'm going to do is take compressed air, and I'm just going to go ahead like this and just blow it around and just get a bunch of dust out of there. I mean, that's really all you can do, honestly. The only area that actually needs cleaning is the fan, which is right here. I'll just go ahead. You might see a plume of dust just fly out of that. I don't know. Well, you heard it, but no, even the fan wasn't that dusty. Yeah, like there really wasn't much to clean in this, so that's pretty cool. Well, I mean, you know, that's pretty much it. That's cleaning a Dreamcast right there. Other than, of course, cleaning up the plastic, which I'll do in a minute. But yeah, so I'm betting, unfortunately, that cleaning it is not going to solve the laser problem. We'll address that shortly. But for now, let's go ahead and we'll clean up this lid. Okay, so all I did was just spray it with some water, and I just cleaned that dirt stuff right off. Now, if your Dreamcast is dirtier than this one, which there's a very good chance it is, otherwise you probably aren't watching this, or really looking at it seriously. It's still wet, obviously, it's still drying, but if you want to get more in depth and say get to the buttons, like maybe someone spilled soda in there or something and they're not very clicky, both of them have like little plastic parts here on the side, and you just push on those and kind of prop it up a little, and you might need something else to kind of force it out, you know, like a screwdriver here. Yeah, and then there you go. You'll have your little button will pop right out. Power button of a Dreamcast. And then you can just run this underwater and clean this up. But in my case, these aren't dirty, so I'm not, you know, I really don't need to clean them. You can just pop them right back in, like, well, maybe it's not that easy. Oh, yeah, it's that easy. Just pops right in. Yeah, so there you go. That's, I'm just going to let this dry now. And as for the bottom of the system, I'm not going to take out all the electronics because there's really no reason to. So what I'm going to do is just kind of spot clean it, you know, just find Windex and just take Windex and just kind of clean it up a little in certain spots, but it's really not that dirty externally. So as the lid dries, we're going to look at a few other things you can do. The controller ports, you know, they have contacts on them. If you really want to, you can go in there with Windex and Q-tips and just kind of clean those a little. That's kind of up to you. Piece of advice though, never, under any circumstances, plug a controller or remove a controller while the system is on. It is notorious for causing a fuse to pop on this board right here, then your controller ports will no longer work. So if you have a Dreamcast that works, but its controllers don't, that's why. You popped the fuse. That's replaceable. Not something I can do because it involves soldering, but there are plenty of tutorials on that. So just be careful and don't do that. On the back, if you want to, you can clean up the ports right there, the serial port and the AV port. I would not recommend cleaning the power port. Just kind of, again, using some Windex and Q-tips and just getting dust out of there. The serial port, which was mostly never used, is becoming more valuable now that SD card readers connect to this. But yeah, I would, recommend cleaning those. You could also, if you want to, clean the extension port for the modem and the broadband adapter. Again, that's up to you. I'll probably do that stuff. Alright, now here's one other thing you can do to clean the thing, but I would not recommend this unless you're actually having problems with the thing like I am. I took a Q-tip and I sprayed some Windex on it, and I just kind of gently rubbed it on the laser a little bit, and then I did the exact same thing on the other side to dry it. I would not recommend doing that unless you're actually having problems reading. Now, that being said, this system would not spin a disc, and after I've cleaned it and after I've cleaned that, it will now spin, but it still doesn't read. So, we're making progress. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of it and put it back together, and at least complete this portion of the video. Okay, so I've put it back together. The lid is now all cleaned up. The bottom, I'm going to do some spot checks. There's a little bit of dirt right there, a little bit of dirt on the rubber button thing there, but really it's not too bad. So in order to do that, I'm going to simply take Windex and paper towels and just kind of rub it. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to use Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser. It's just like a foam kind of stuff. I've shown this in previous videos. This stuff is intense though, so be very careful with it. It'll get out almost anything, and that includes logos. So seriously, be very, very careful if you're going to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, I finished wiping off all the little scuffs on it, and it looks pretty good. I got a lot of the dirt off, even though it really wasn't all that dirty. But now we're going to try and make it shine a little. This step is kind of optional because this is a white system, so this won't do a whole lot. At this face, I used to use WD-40. I don't do this anymore. Now I use Pledge. And basically what you do, you just take a like a paper towel, and then you take the Pledge, spray it on like that, and then wipe it down. And that gives it a nice shiny coat. And I'm just going to continue to wipe down all the sides of it. And after that, I'll just let it sit and dry for a little bit. Alright, and so now I've let it sit for a while, and it's, it's shinier, but again, it's a white console, so it's not going to look that great. It cleaned up really well. The lid's nicer, bottom's nicer. We got some dust out of it. Unfortunately, I still can't get this thing working. I've hooked it up to the TV, can't really do anything. So cleaning did not do that. That is the end of the cleaning demonstration. However, I am going to try something else. I want you to stick around and be part 2 of this Dreamcast, of restoring this Dreamcast, in which I will tweak the laser, and maybe, just maybe, we can get this thing to work.
Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe if you so desire. However, we'd really appreciate it if you'd check out our other videos that are of a higher production caliber. Thank you.